Scorpio.
Hello Scorpio, this is your December forecast for 2013, and this month here in December you got a lot of things going on here now in your financial sector. So you might be looking over what your budget is and how that's working for you, and perhaps also not just crunching numbers, but also looking perhaps at new opportunities and how this can actually expand your field for the next year. So I see you looking over what it is you have been drawing in, and then thinking, and not only just that, but it's also the new moon in this area. So here December 2nd, when the new moon is up and running, you want to download in your mind all of these intentions of how it is you want your financial outlook to look like for the whole entire coming year of 2014. So definitely write your abundance check to yourself here on the 2nd, and then just, tear it up or put it away here on the full moon on the 17th. See what that will do for you, okay? And the second house is also taking an overview on self-worth, what it is you feel you're worth in your own eyes, and how you put this together, excuse me, in the overall picture of where you've been, what you've accumulated, what you have been able to manifest throughout 2013. There's a look at that too. So it's like, how good are we feeling about ourselves? And especially here now, as if you're listening to this on the November side of the December forecast, well, we still got a lot of things going on here in November, and especially there around November 14th, pay attention to it, Venus-Pluto conjunct. But if you're listening on the December side of this, well, then we're already beyond that date. But that's a powerful date to look at. Also, once again, self-worth, because it is Venus ruling the second house of it, but it also rules love and also financial situations. So yeah, you will be working on that throughout this December. And then you have the full moon, which is the harvest date. That's going to be December 17th, which is going to be in your 8th house for joint resources with your partner. It could also be anything else that you have joint venture relationships with, or it could also be investment payout and stuff. Perhaps also even insurance companies. If you have been waiting for something, it might have been delayed due to Uranus, which has been moving retrograde, but that is now on the go. And we have Uranus direct from the 17th. So anything after this, it could open up this area for you. We need Uranus to help people push ahead, make those little oomph and whatnot. But basically for you, Scorpio, I also see that you're looking for change. You're looking for change of your daily routine, and that is also a Uranian factor. Uranus creates change, and you have it in the 6th house for your everyday today routine, how you live your life, how you get up, how you go to bed, what kind of diet do you eat, do you work out enough, do you have time enough to go do these things? This is what Uranus in the 6th house is kind of shaking up this area, and it's wanting to break away from the rut. And the rut is this square over here to Pluto in the 3rd house. It's like your 3rd house of communication. It is so powerful, the responsibility that you're carrying on a day-to-day level. Pluto is power, not just your own power, but it's the power you encounter with people around you. That could be day-to-day meetings and so forth. Typical 3rd house communications. So you might feel that there's enough of this, there's pressure, and you're just wanting to kind of like spread your wings away from it. We'll look at what 2014 is going to do for you, but not in this video. We're going to be doing that on a separate video, but definitely this clash is here. But Venus here also is transiting your 3rd house until it moves into your 4th house a little bit later in the month. 3rd house, Venus is, it's nice. It's communicating love, it's sweet words, little notes, and so forth. And it's also trining Mars here this month, so that's really nice for you and your partner. And also that of friendships, because your Mars currently right now is up there in your 11th house for socializing and social networks, and once again communicating with somebody out there that could also be very energetically inspiring you. Maybe some of you have just joined a group. This is the 11th house for groups. Venus coming in with something that you'd love to kind of dive into. Well, in that case, it looks like this could be interesting. Now, the group that I see that you're affiliating with right now, though, seems to be something of a very analytical nature, because it's in the sign of Virgo. And Mars in Virgo is trying to figure out, trying to linearly structure what it is Spirit wants. It's a Spirit house. You know, it's the house of Aquarius ruled by Uranus. So it might be some untraditional, unconventional type that you are looking for within groups, where you can dedicate Mars, dedicate your energy and focus to absorb new insights, okay, new knowledge. Virgo's ruled by Mercury, so that is knowledge. So in that case, you might just find that this is something that's very stimulating and helpful to kind of break away from that daily routine and see if you can find a platform, a new grounding to be on. And then, of course, you know, this whole structure that you're trying to lay down, this new foundation, is Saturn at work in your first house. And we've been talking about that over these last few months, and how Saturn really wants to bring out the best in you. It's tough sometimes for at least some people, depending on where Saturn is in your birth chart. It could be pressure, but hey, listen, like I always say, no diamonds are created without pressure. So this is all of the good. We just need to kind of roll with it, and like I say, listen to the music and do the dance, okay? And that way you're not too far ahead, you're not lagging too far behind. You just want to find the rhythm here and work with Saturn, and then Saturn will be working with you. So we have also Mercury in this first house of you expressing yourself, what's important to you. And it's been here for a while, because Mercury went retrograde last month. So it stayed for an extended period of time. But now Mercury is going to be moving out of here on December 4th. You will notice just how your mind is going to start lifting. Sagittarius is much more, should I say, optimistic and witty, a great sense of humor, and plus it's into the second house, so you will see how your mind is now going to shift over to those things where the sun and the new moon are in the area of income, but also self-worth, and shooting new goals, because that's what Sagittarius is all about. And when the sun moves into a sign, new sign each and every month, well, the sun is you. And when it passes through a new sign, every month you get to have a little sliver, a little feeling and sense of flavor of how it is to be this other sun sign. You'll always be your sun sign, that's what you're born in, but we pick up the energies because we have all the sun signs within us, okay? So you're going to be a little bit more happy-go-lucky, a little bit out of this serious frame of mind that November has represented to you. Then we have, let's talk about Jupiter. Jupiter is going retrograde right now. Now Jupiter has been really positive here for you in your 9th house, where you've been expanding and trying to kind of reach for higher, loftier, more philosophical insights, wanting to get back into spirit, I feel, and those things that Jupiter represents, which is wisdom. Now the 3rd house is knowledge, and that's Gemini, knowledge, and we can accumulate all the knowledge we want, and that's a wonderful, it's a great thing. However though, Gemini's opposite sign is Sagittarius, and that reaches for wisdom, and wisdom is how do we use our knowledge, because if that's not used or utilized correctly, well, the knowledge is nothing in itself. So it's more like, okay, you've been accumulating a whole lot, Pluto's down there in your 3rd house, you're getting bombarded with all this new insight, knowledge, day-to-day basis. And I'm thinking this is where you're wanting to break away from, because it's like an overload a little bit. And Jupiter is saying, I really want to just step it up, you know, to this higher realm. There's more to life than just this happening right here. So there's this longing, this yearning to do so. And you know what, Scorpio, you will. Because Jupiter, as it's retrograding, which it will be doing now for 4 or 5 months, it will take you there. It will give you a little break so you can step back and have a little time to reflect and expand this area. And then, of course, some of you have been traveling, and some of you, others of you, will still yet be traveling. Jupiter is going to be in this area for foreign countries and long distance travel until July of next year. So even though she's retrograde, Jupiter is still generous, and you may still see some gifts and benefits of her abundance still coming to you even in the retrograde phase. And this will not necessarily come through new opportunities, but opportunities can come from the past where you at some point planted some seeds earlier. So that might come now as a result. Not saying necessarily this month, but this month is really good because she is a trine Saturn, which is trying to ground down this energy for you. So let's take a look at what we got here from the top of the month. We have that new moon, December 2nd. We have great communication here with Mercury and Mars. That's communication, drive, ambition, and goals coming together here. Great alignment. And then Mercury out of your sign into Sagittarius on the 4th. You'll notice a mental lift and sense of humor coming back in and around. But just be careful here on the 6th, because on the 6th we have a Mercury square Neptune. And for you, this will be in an area here, communication also with children or a loved one. 5th house is love relationships. It could also be a creative project perhaps that you're working on. Well, either communication can kind of get a little credit here on this day, which you will have to fix afterwards. But as long as you don't sign any papers, even though Mercury is direct, but when it's square Neptune, well, it may not turn out to be what you want. Neptune can also be very deceptive, sound better than what it is. So just be careful, at least no investments on that day. Lay low, at least just, you know, a short little week there. Good, exciting news, unexpected news on the 10th. And then we also have on the 12th, Jupiter and Saturn trine. That's what I was talking about. It's here where you and your personality is now wanting to start reaching for that higher wisdom that the 9th house represents. So that can be coming in there at the 12th. Plus Uranus, the planet of change, which has been sleeping, is going to be moving direct on the 17th. So, you know, if you feel that you've been stuck, well, no longer. Once Uranus is with us, we will notice action. Okay? Slowly but surely, though, not on the day itself. It takes time for a big planet to kind of turn direction, and then it kind of really slows as it turns, and then it takes time to pick up traction. So we got to give it a few weeks, but at least it's going to be direct for many, many months now. On the 21st, we have the Sun moving out of the 2nd house into the 3rd house. So there is definitely here now a shift out of the financial and then into the area of siblings. Time for siblings. 3rd house is always about either siblings, communication, back and forth, short distance travel, lots of errands. Well, hey, we're right up under Christmas. So, I mean, that means a lot of errands for everybody. But for you especially, it's the 3rd house. There might be short distance travel or somebody coming visiting, traveling from afar. On the very same day, Venus turns retrograde. Okay, so it's going to be there for a few weeks in this area here, though, of your 3rd house. And as long as you get all your shopping done before the 21st, you're going to be okay with your gifts. But I wouldn't do no last minute shopping for Christmas after the 21st, because those gifts may not be turning out the way you would like them to. they might be faulty or something. And if you're thinking of Botox, getting anything done, facelifts, you know, under this retrograde, I would say if you have any appointments already set, I'd redo them, because you've seen lips gone bad, right? That kind of thing. I think we've all seen those kind of pictures. That is done under a Venus retrograde. Venus is beauty, okay? We want beauty to be on the forefront, moving with us whenever something is going to be taken like that. Or even haircuts. You don't want that done either under a Venus retrograde, okay? Just little tips there. And then we have Christmas is looking good. It's got all that atmospheric energy. The Sun, Mercury, and Neptune is all really, really nice here. And I see the scene is set. The beautiful music, the elevated music, and just that Christmas, you know, the nice, beautiful scents and so forth. Just be careful. And I've told the other signs too. Well, Mars and Uranus is opposed to one another on the 24th, and here in the States we have Christmas Day on the 25th. So a lot of people will be traveling on the 24th to get to, you know, their families afar. Now there can be delays, there can be all kinds of things. It could be weather coming in. If you're living up in the northern parts, be very careful when you're driving on the slippery freeways and so forth, just so nothing takes place there. And for those of you out traveling, there might be delays at the airports. For you in Europe, well, your Christmas is on Christmas Eve here on the 24th. I'm sorry, I got a phone call here, but yes, so there's a lot of energies that's packing up here at the very end of the year here, Scorpio, on the very last few days, and the energies of this impact is what we're going to be meeting here on top of the year for 2014. So I'll discuss that more on the 2014 videos, as also on your January forecast. But at the very end of the month here, and I will go through them on the the daily astroscopes more in depth, because I can only run through them here. But yes, what we have is Mercury is going to be not too friendly with Uranus, so there might be an unexpected situation or happenstance. The Sun is involved in this square with Uranus, and then we know that those two planets, if they're at square, well, we have Pluto involved here as well. And then we also have Mars square Pluto. So Mars can get feisty, Pluto can be very reactive, and if somebody's not gonna let up on this whatever discussion, well, then it could be a little fiery. So little frustration here at the end of the month, but hey, listen, go listen to your moon and rising sign. See what you get out of this month here by checking out the other versions of your own personal chart on these other forecasts. So I will see you next month. Bye now, Scorpio.